अब तू यहीं रहे थोड़ा सा। अब ये मेरी स्टार्ट हो गई है ना। हेलो फ्रेंड्स, गुड आफ्टरनून। माई सेल्फ संजीव वार्ष्णे and I will take your paper statutory compliance CAT. So let's start. Before starting, I will discuss the format of this paper. Name of paper is statutory compliance. It has been divided into two parts, 1 and 2. First part is concept of tax. Second is competence level. So मैं आप लोगों को जो पढ़ाने जा रहा हूं कैट में, आवर पेपर इज स्टैच्यूटरी कॉम्प्लायंस and it is a very good course of CMA Institute, CAT, Certificate in Accounting Technician. कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ टैक्स में वैसे तो आपको पता ही है डीटी और आईडीटी है। डीटी मीन्स डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस, यानी जो आप अपनी पॉकेट से पे करते हैं, आपको पता होता है आपने कितना पे किया, that is direct tax. Earlier there were 3 direct taxes: income tax, wealth tax and gift tax. बहुत सालों पहले, so many years long back, government has omitted gift tax. Few years back, कुछ साल पहले मोदी सरकार ने वेल्थ टैक्स भी हटा दिया। तो आज की डेट में आपका जो डायरेक्ट टैक्स है वो केवल एक ही है, डेट इज इनकम टैक्स। और इसके अलावा हम लोग इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स में जीएसटी एंड कस्टम्स, we will do all these 3 parts of part 1, concept of tax. Direct tax we pay to the department, income tax department, directly. So we know, क्योंकि हम डायरेक्टली पे करते हैं तो हमें पता है हमने कितना टैक्स पे किया है। बट डू यू नो हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू पे इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग ऑफ डे टिल द एंड ऑफ डे? सुबह से लेके रात तक आप कितना इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स पे करते हो शायद आप नहीं जानते। कुछ भी उठा लीजिए, कोई भी पैक्ड आइटम, टूथपेस्ट, ब्रश, शैम्पू, सोप, एनी आइटम, यू आर पेइंग जीएसटी, मींस इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स। सो जीएसटी में हम सारे इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस को डिटेल में डिस्कस करेंगे। और कस्टम में हमें देखना होगा इंपोर्ट और एक्सपोर्ट। अगर हम इंपोर्ट करते हैं तो हमें उस पर कैसे इंपोर्ट ड्यूटी देनी है, हाउ टू पे इंपोर्ट ड्यूटी ऑन इंपोर्ट, एंड इफ वी एक्सपोर्ट, हाउ टू पे एक्सपोर्ट ड्यूटी ऑन द एक्सपोर्ट. Very few items are covered under export. Government don't charge export duty. There are two reasons. One, foreign exchange will be coming in India in huge. And second thing is, make in India will flow. मतलब विदेश से एक तो फॉरेन करेंसी हमारे पास ज्यादा से ज्यादा है, जितनी ज्यादा फॉरेन करेंसी हमारे पास किसी कंट्री की होगी, आपको मैं क्लियर कर दूं, हम उतना ही उसे इकोनॉमिकली कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं। हाँ सर, कनेक्ट हो गया। शेयर कर।
प्लीज कंटिन्यू सर।
हाँ जी सर, अब ठीक है?
यस सर।
हाँ सर, लाइव कर दूं?
लाइव ओनली सर।
लाइव, हाँ हाँ चल रहा है सर।
प्लीज कंटिन्यू सर, यू आर लाइव सर।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू।
हाँ।
सॉरी स्टूडेंट्स, इट वाज जस्ट टेक्निकल इश्यू, सो वी आर कमिंग बैक। तो इंपोर्ट और एक्सपोर्ट पर हम इंपोर्ट ड्यूटी देंगे, और एक्सपोर्ट ड्यूटी पर मैंने आपको बताया था कि गवर्नमेंट डोंट चार्ज इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट ड्यूटी, बिकॉज गवर्नमेंट चाहती है कि एक तो फॉरेन एक्सचेंज ज्यादा से ज्यादा है हमारे पास, और दूसरा अपने प्रोडक्ट की एक पहचान पूरे वर्ल्ड में बना दें। यानी मतलब साफ है, मेक इन इंडिया, राइट? आई विल डिस्कस दीज 3 टॉपिक्स विद यू। सो आज हम एक काम करते हैं, सबसे बढ़िया और इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक इनकम टैक्स स्टार्ट करेंगे, और इनकम टैक्स को हम अब लेते हैं, उसे स्टार्ट करते हैं। वी आर स्टार्टिंग इनकम टैक्स। सो बिफोर स्टार्टिंग माय टॉपिक, I will discuss something with you. First topic is income tax. देखिए, बड़ी साफ सी बात है, जब हम कोई सब्जेक्ट पढ़ते हैं तो हमें उसे लॉजिकल पढ़ना चाहिए, हर चीज को एक एक पॉइंट को समझना चाहिए। We should try to understand with logic. So today we are starting income tax with logic, and before starting I will discuss the history of this income tax, when it was came into force, and how it is, किस तरीके से हम चलाते हैं इंडिया में, वो सब मैं आपको यहाँ पे बताने जा रहा हूँ। ध्यान से देखें। मैं आप लोगों को 1857 में लेके चलता हूं। 1857 में इंडिया में बहुत सारी रिवॉल्यूशंस हुई थी। देयर वर सो मेनी रिवॉल्यूशंस इन इंडिया, स्मॉल रिवॉल्यूशंस। दैट्स व्हाई इंडियन इकोनॉमी वाज फॉल डाउन, you can say, just like right now. So at that time British rule was in India. अंग्रेजों का शासन था, इंडिया को अंग्रेज मैनेज कर रहे थे सारा। तो जिस प्रकार से टुडे आवर फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर इज निर्मला सीतारमण, India's finance was looked after by Mr. we can say Sir James Wilson. He was finance man of India during British rule. Now Indian economy was very dim down. That's why इन्होंने क्या किया? He said we will charge tax from every Indian who is earning income at that time. उस समय जो भी व्यक्ति इनकम अर्न कर रहा था वो सबसे कह रहे थे, भैया अपनी इनकम में से हमें कुछ ना कुछ आपको हमें देना ही पड़ेगा। यू विल हैव टू कंपल्सरीली डिपॉजिट विद अस, यू विल हैव टू पे। बट यू नो, जब तक कोई बात लिखी हुई ना हो, nobody will accept. Everything must be written. Indians are used to of writing, not orally, verbally. That's why British government has started to take tax from 1860. In India, tax was levied from 1860. मांगते रहे, देते रहे, आता रहा, देता रहा, सब कुछ चलता रहा। ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट ने सबसे पहले इनकम टैक्स एक्ट, ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट ने सबसे पहले इनकम टैक्स एक्ट 1922 में लगाया, लेके आए, और फिर उसके बाद उन्होंने इनकम टैक्स को रिटन किया, राइटिंग में लेके आए और एक्ट लगा दिया इंडिया में, और फिर एक्ट के आधार पर टैक्स कलेक्ट करना शुरू कर दिया. They have started to collect tax on the basis of 1922 in written manner. As you know, 1947 we were independent. हम लोग आजाद हो गए. After independence, Indian government made law of India 1950 26 January, that was Constitution of India. This was the mother or father, you can say mother or father as you wish, of all law. Any law, if Indian government like central government or state government, any one of them or both of them want to impose any law in India, it must be available. कह सकते हैं इसका जिक्र कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में होना जरूरी है. दिस मैटर मस्ट बी अवेलेबल इन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बिफोर मेकिंग एनी लॉ. इफ द मैटर इज नॉट अवेलेबल इन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया, देन we have to, government will have to amend constitution and introduce the matter. Thereafter they can impose or make any law in India, just like GST. For GST, government had to amended constitution. So I will discuss in GST. When we will start GST, we will discuss how to amend constitution to introduce GST in India. Right now आई एम टेलिंग यू, कोई भी लॉ अगर बनाना है, इस लॉ के बारे में अगर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में अवेलेबल होगा, वो बात लिखी हुई होगी, तो लॉ बन सकता है. नहीं तो पहले लॉ को अमेंड करेंगे, उसके बाद लॉ बनेगा. इज दैट क्लियर? राइट, ओके. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में लिखा हुआ था हर साल 28 फेब को हमारी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया क्या लेके आएगी? बजट. अब बात आती है व्हाट इज बजट. बजट इज नथिंग. बजट इज व्हाट? बजट है कि कितना हमें इंडस्ट्रीज से टैक्स आएगा, कितनी हमारी कहां से इनकमिंग ऑफ कैश होगी, और कहां हमें ये पैसा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे यूज करना है, हॉस्पिटल्स पे यूज करना है, ब्रिजेज पे यूज करना है, एजुकेशन पे यूज करना है. ये सब बात हमारे बजट में बताया जाता है. ओके, सो आवर इंडियन गवर्नमेंट कंटिन्यूड दिस एक्ट. I have already written 1922 made by British. अंग्रेजों ने जो एक्ट बनाया था 1922, it was continued here. Even it was continued 1961 till 1961. But as you know, in budget what is done? Government क्या करती है? कुछ amendments करती है. अमेंडमेंट्स मेड बाय गवर्नमेंट. गवर्नमेंट क्या करेगी? अमेंडमेंट करेगी. और गवर्नमेंट जब अमेंडमेंट करती है तो क्या होता है? सम सेक्शंस आर चेंज ड्यू टू अमेंडमेंट्स. और गवर्नमेंट चेक आफ्टर द अमेंडमेंट, आफ्टर 1 year गवर्नमेंट चेक वेदर वी हैव मेड द अमेंडमेंट्स, आर दे हैव द पॉजिटिव इंपैक्ट और दे हैव नेगेटिव इंपैक्ट. इफ पॉजिटिव इंपैक्ट, गवर्नमेंट डू accordingly further. If negative impact, government remove the section which has been already amended by government. So amendments, Indian government made amendments, so many amendments in 1922, but till 1961 the act 1922 was totally amended and confusing. So government, Indian government feel this act is not appropriate for India. So independent India made Indian Act 1961. This act is introduced by independent Indian government after independence. But you know, there are 5 to 6 sections change in ईयर बाय ईयर. हर साल लगभग 5 से 6 सेक्शंस चेंज हो जाते हैं. सो आफ्टर 1961 इट इज नियर अबाउट 50 years एंड 6 सेक्शंस आर चेंज्ड इन ए ईयर. अगर एक साल में 6 सेक्शंस चेंज हो तो 50 साल में 300 सेक्शंस लगभग चेंज. सो यू विल बी सरप्राइज टू नो इन 1961 इंडियन इनकम टैक्स एक्ट only 298 सेक्शंस, केवल 298 सेक्शन हैं पूरे 1961 में। तो एज पर दिस थ्योरी आप देखिए 300 सेक्शन के अराउंड चेंज, तो दिस एक्ट इज ऑलमोस्ट चेंज। यू नो व्हेन द इनकम टैक्स एक्ट 1961 वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड, everybody was said this is really a very good act, simplified act, simple act. But due to changes in so many years, this act, this 1961 is now the toughest act in all over world. आज की डेट में इंडियन इनकम टैक्स एक्ट 1961 पूरे वर्ल्ड का सबसे टफ एक्ट है। एक बार मेरे एक दोस्त का यूएस से फोन आया, वन ऑफ माय फ्रेंड कॉल्ड मी फ्रॉम यूएस, संजीव भाई for how many days I can come to India? So I said to him, why are you asking how many days you want to come India? It's your India, it's your country. जितने दिन तेरा मन हो उतने दिन के लिए आ। So he said, no, in your country there is a law 182 days. If I live in India, you will become me resident in India. मैंने कहा मतलब? कहता है भैया अगर मैं तुम्हारे यहाँ 182 डेज से ज्यादा रह लिया तो तुम मुझे रेजिडेंट बना दोगे, एंड यू विल चार्ज द टैक्स ऑन माई ग्लोबल इनकम वेयर एवर इन द वर्ल्ड आई अर्न द इनकम, इंडियन गवर्नमेंट विल आस्क टू पे टैक्स. सो दिस इज द टफेस्ट और डार्केस्ट पार्ट ऑफ योर इनकम टैक्स. मतलब उन्होंने साधारण शब्दों में मुझसे कहा कि भैया मैं तुम्हारे इंडिया में आ जाऊंगा, मतलब अपने इंडिया में आऊंगा, और अगर मैं 182 दिन से ज्यादा इंडिया में रह लिया तो द प्रॉब्लम है कि मैं वर्ल्ड में कहीं भी इनकम अर्न करूं, मैं यूएसए में इनकम अर्न करूं, आपका कानून है कि आप इंडिया में मतलब जो यूएसए में या मैंने वर्ल्ड में कहीं भी इनकम अर्न की, अगर मैं ऑर्डिनरी रेजिडेंट बन गया, क्योंकि 182 डेज के बाद तुम मुझे ऑर्डिनरी रेजिडेंट बना दोगे एज पर योर लॉ, एज पर योर इंडियन इनकम टैक्स एक्ट, then I will have to pay tax on my global income. So मुझे लगा कि हाँ यार, he is right, सही कह रहा है कि भैया वो वहां इनकम अर्न कर रहा है, उस पर इंडिया में टैक्स देना पड़ेगा. तो दिस इज द डार्केस्ट पार्ट. सो गवर्नमेंट ऑल्सो कंसिडरिंग दिस पार्ट, तो गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया, इंडियन इनकम टैक्स 1961 के लिए भी जिस तरीके से एक्साइज, कस्टम, वेट वगैरह के लिए गवर्नमेंट जीएसटी ले आई, 1961 के लिए भी गवर्नमेंट डीटीसी ड्राफ्ट किया, डायरेक्ट टैक्स कोड्स. I have read this direct tax code, very simplified, very easy to understand, but the problem is it is not passed by government in parliament, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. That is why it is not available with us. So हमें भैया मजबूरी बस कौन सा एक्ट पढ़ना है, 1961. We have to read 1961. अगर आपको if you have any doubt, मेहुल, if you have any doubt, please write down in comment box. I will take your doubt. Have you any doubt? Please ask it. Okay. करना है इसे. Okay. Please try to connect again and okay. I will take some English. मैं English में भी ले रहा हूँ क्योंकि we have connected so many students in Hindi medium as well as English medium. That's why I am taking your class in English as well as Hindi. I am teaching first in English, then reteach in Hindi. So जो आपको अच्छा लगे, जिसको हिंदी समझ आए वो हिंदी वाली समझ ले, जिसे इंग्लिश समझ आए, those who can understand English, they can understand in English. Okay, so I am continue again further. Okay. So we will do right now Income Tax Act 1961. No need to worry because it is very simple. If you will try to understand with logics, don't try to mug up. Okay, so we will discuss it with logic. Myself Sanjeev Varsne, teaching direct and indirect taxes for last 21 years in CMA Institute for CMA Inter. So don't worry, I will take your all queries and try to understand. Wherever you feel any doubt, please ask. Okay, I start now. I have discussed with you origin and basic concept of income tax. First Income Tax Act 1922 by British government continued by independent India till 1961. I have told you earlier. Replaced by Income Tax Act 1961. Income Tax Act 1961 imposes tax on income other than agriculture income. Please listen with your full attention. Okay. Central government has no right to levy tax on agriculture income. That's why income tax is not charged on agriculture income in India, but state government has right to levy tax on agriculture income. State government अगर चाहे तो they can charge agricultural tax on agriculture income. Tax on agriculture income can be imposed by state governments. I have written here so you can understand. Now, income tax is levied entry number 82 of list 1 of 7th schedule. I will discuss it with you. As you know, everything must be written in Constitution. Constitution Article 246, like sections in a act, in Constitution articles, they are serial numbers, nothing else. So article, or we can say serial number 246, 7th schedule. They have 3 lists. Number 1, union list. Number 2, state list. Number 3, concurrent list. So in union list, central government has right to make or levy any tax, but it should be available in this list. Total 97 entries are available in this list. So union list में अगर कोई matter available है, if any matter is available in union list, central government can impose or levy the tax, can impose or can make any law, and it will be applicable to the whole of India, including Jammu and Kashmir right now. Okay. State government want to make any law in its state, they can do this if the matter is available in state list. Here, central government and state government both can make the law, but on any point, if there is any dispute between central government and state government, central government will prevail over state government decision. So एक फिल्म थी गदर, उसमें कहा था बाप बाप रहता है, तो यहां पर भी हम कहेंगे सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की बात माननी पड़ेगी एंड ओबे टू द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ओनली. सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट लोकसभा प्लस राज्यसभा दोनों में लॉ पास करेगी. ये स्टेट लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली और ये अपने इसमें. तो यूनियन लिस्ट की एंट्री नंबर 82 said about income tax. 82 की वजह से, because of entry number 82, income tax on income was possible in India and imposed by central government in 1961. So you know these 3 lists are important. If any tax government want to levy, the matter should be available in these lists. If the matter is not available, then government will have to amend constitution. Thereafter, they can levy any law, they can levy any tax in India. So I'm coming back to the slides. Entry number 82 of the list of 7 schedule said about income tax union list. I told you, which reads tax on income other than agriculture income. Entry number 82 in union list is clearly states that central government can tax on income other than agriculture income. But if agriculture income is to be taxed in India, so entry number 46 of list 2 of 7 schedule, yani state list, reads tax on agriculture income. So tax on agriculture income is clearly stated in state lists. That's why state government can impose tax on agriculture income. There is no provision, no entry in union list. That's why central government cannot levy tax on agriculture income. Central government tax only income tax, not agriculture income. Okay. Now we will start some basic concepts to understand income tax. So in income tax, some terms of definitions, some terms are need to be understood first. Out of them, first definition is previous year. So what is previous year? Right now, previous year means a period in which an income is earned and is taxed in next year, that is assessment year. Generally, it starts from 1st April and ends on 31st March of the next year. I will clearly give you an example so it will be clear. देखिए, look please. What is previous year? This is the year in which we earn the income. ये वो previous year है जिसमें हम income earn करते हैं. Generally, it is started on 1st April and our relevant previous year is 1/4/19 to 31st March 20. This is our relevant previous year. So Income Tax Act clearly says what you earn in this year. What you earn in this year, you will have to pay tax in next year. So you earn in the full year. In the full year, you earn the income and you need to pay tax in the next year. That year is called assessment year. Assessment year. It's generally started just next day. So our previous year end on 31st March 2020. Next day means 1st April 2020 and it will again end on this date. So we earn in this year, previous year, pay tax in assessment year. So I think this is very clear. Whatever we earn in the previous year, we have to pay tax in the next year. That is called assessment year. Now the question is arise, sir, assessment year may be less than 12 months or more than 12 months. Is it possible? Assessment year क्या 12 महीने से कम या ज्यादा का हो सकता है? क्या यह संभव है? Assessment year can never be more than or less than 12 months. Assessment year will always be will always be of 12 months. Of 12 months. Always be 12 months. हमेशा 12 महीने का होगा. Even first assessment year. Short form of assessment year is AY. I repeat, assessment year will never be less than or more than 12 months. It will always be exactly 12 months. Exactly 12 months, even first assessment year. Now, the most important thing I am telling you, please focus on the screen. Sir, can previous year be less than 12 months or more than 12 months? This is the question. This is the question. Sir, previous year कम या ज्यादा का हो सकता है, तो भैया मेरा आंसर, my answer is never more than 12 months. कभी भी 12 महीने से ऊपर का नहीं होगा. It will never be more than 12 months. But please listen. But maybe less than 12 months. The important thing is previous year will never be more than 12 months. It may be less than 12 months. 12 महीने से कम का हो सकता है, ज्यादा का कभी नहीं होगा. सर, इन विच केस? देखिए साहब, ध्यान से देखिएगा, प्लीज प्योर अटेंशन हियर. Whenever you start to earn the income, it may be by business, profession, or job, service. You can earn the income by any of three modes. So, whenever you start your income by business or profession or by service, your first previous year will be starting on that particular day. For example, if I start my business, profession or job on 15th September 2019, so my first previous year will be starting on 15th September 2019 and will be end on always coming 31st March. So my first previous year will be 15th September 19 to 31st March 2020. My first previous year will be starting on this date, will be end on this date. So first previous year may be less than 12 months. But now onwards, our previous year will be starting on 1st April and will be end on 31st March. Our first previous year may be less than 12 months. Thereafter, it will always 1st April to 31st March, 1st April to 31st March. I take another example. Example number 1, example number 2. Suppose I start my business on 15th March 2020. 15th March 2020. My first previous year will be starting on this date and will be end on always coming 31st March. So only for 15-16 days there may be a previous year. Even I take third example. I start my business on 30th March 2020. Now this will also be end on 2020. Means even for a single day, there may be a previous year. You can say even for a minute, even for a single second, there may be a previous year when you start your job, your business, your profession. Mind it, whenever you start your business, profession, service, your first previous year will be starting on that particular date and will be end on always coming 31st March. Thereafter, your business is now starting Now your previous year will be always 1st April to 31st March, 1st April to 31st March, 1st April to 31st March. I think this is all clear to all of you. This is clear. Have you any doubt? Please ask me. Have you any doubt? Please ask me. I am taking totally class in English, my dear friend. What are you saying? Thank you. Nice to hear you, sir. Thank you. Sir, Hindi also okay. Direct tax, indirect tax, yes. Okay, no doubt. I think there is no doubt on this particular topic, what I am teaching right now. And I am also using a simplified English language. So my North Indian students, they have some English problem. They can also understand, right? So I am taking the simplified words only. North, South, West, East, Central. सबका साथ सबका विकास. ओके, चलते हैं आगे. लेट्स स्टार्ट फर्दर. ओके. Now, I have to teach you right now. Previous year, in case of newly set up business or profession or new source of income. In case of newly set up source of income, please see my screen. I am presenting you previous year concept through PPT. Slide is on my screen. Please see, look, understand. In case of newly set up source of income, the first previous year will be commencing from the date of newly set up source of income and on following 31st March. I have told you, whenever you start to earn your income, listen carefully what I am saying right now. When you start your business, profession, service, date of joining will be the first day of the previous year. Thereafter it will be end on always coming 31st March. I have written here and I have told you through visualizer on writing pad. Now I'm telling you further example again. AM joins Indian Navy 3rd October 2019. He has joined 3rd October 19. It means he has started to earn the income. So his first previous year will be starting on 3rd October 2019 and will be end on 31st March 2020. This will be your first previous year in this example. M joins the Indian Navy. So his first previous year will be from 3rd October 2019 to 31st March 2020. Thereafter, 1st April 2020 to 31st March 2021. So on. It will be always start on 1st April and on 31st March. So I have written here, answer is there. Another, I start my business 3rd March 2020. Example नीचे second वाला. दूसरा example, second example, as a start up a new business on 3rd March 2020. So his first previous year will be start on 3rd March 2020 and will be end on 31st March 2020. Okay. Answer is below the question. Now, what is assessment year? I have told you a period of 12 months will never be more than, never be less than. We earn the income in previous year and we pay tax in the next year. That is known as assessment year. जो कुछ भी हम previous year में earn करेंगे उस पर tax देंगे assessment year में. I repeat in English. Whatever we earn in previous year, we have to pay tax in the next year. Will be starting again from 1st April 2020 to 31st March 2021. Is called assessment year. Is that clear? So we understood what is previous year, what is assessment year. They were very important. They were, you can understand, in each and every section, in each and every practical question, we have to face previous year assessment year, previous year assessment year. So I repeat, whatever we earn in previous year, we have to pay tax in the next year. That is called assessment year. Okay. Now the again most important definition. Person. पर्सन मीन्स वो व्यक्ति जो इनकम टैक्स पे करेंगे, उन्हें यहां पर पर्सन की डेफिनेशन में रखा गया। पर्सन की डेफिनेशन में रखा गया। द पर्सन मीन्स a person who is liable to pay tax. So many persons are covered here in this definition. The term person includes individual. Now please may I have your attention. ध्यान से सुने सब लोग, हिंदी वाले इंग्लिश वाले भी सुने प्लीज। may I have your attention please. What is an individual? You are individual, myself individual, live persons all are individual, so nothing to teach about individual. Everybody knows who is individual. If you earn the income, you will have to pay tax. If I earn the income, I will have to pay the tax. Whosoever earn the income will have to pay the tax. Is that clear? So individual is, that's enough. Now what is Hindu undivided family? प्लीज ध्यान से सुने, लिसन केयरफुली. व्हाट इज हिंदू अनडिवाइडेड फैमिली? कम कर दे. हिंदू अनडिवाइडेड फैमिली. I will teach you this with another slide. Hindu undivided family. Whenever in a family, suppose my father having a family, in that my father, he is the head of family. Head of the family is known कर्ता. भैया ये हिंदी में भी करता है और इंग्लिश में भी करता है. दिस इज नोन कर्ता इन हिंदी एज वेल एज इन इंग्लिश. हेड ऑफ द फैमिली इज नोन एज कर्ता. सो माई फादर हैविंग ए फैमिली इन विच ही इज कर्ता. माई मदर इज अ मेंबर. Me and my brother both are a member. So there are 4 members in a family. Head of family, mother, me and my younger brother, all 3 are members of the family. Now how to form a family? Nothing is written anywhere. You have to just understand with this slide. So how to constitution of a family, kaise, how to make a family? You know this picture of Dhirubhai Ambani, Papa ji got married with Kokilaben Mataji. As an individual married with a female, as you know in India marriages are between male and female. So here is female. So Papa ji got married with Mataji. In Hindi, father called Papa ji. In Hindi, mother called Mataji. Mota Bhai is called in Gujarat. Elder brother is called Mota Bhai. As Mota Bhai or elder brother take birth in a family, HUF is automatically formed. Now this HUF is formed. As you get, as an individual of a family got married with another female, and after marriage they have any baby like Mukesh Ambani, so HUF is automatically formed. Then Chota Bhai, Anil Ambani, this is a complete family, but the family was formed as Mota Bhai come into this world. Now this family is complete. One important thing I am telling you right now, even Karta has died in this family. This family is still in existence. It is not finished. Even Karta has died. This family is still in existence. Now Mota Bhai will become the Karta of this family. Is that clear? Elder son will become the Karta of the family. So this family is now still in existence. Okay. I will tell you the benefits of HUF. Please see on my writing pad in your screen. What is the benefit of HUF? What is benefit of HUF? What is benefit of HUF? First, I write here how to tax in India on individual, this is individual or HUF. They pay tax according to slab. Now what is slab? Okay, I write here. If you earn up to rupees 2,50,000, you have no need to pay any tax. Tax is zero. No need to pay tax. कोई income tax नहीं है. But your income is exceeding 2,50,000, but up to rupees 5 lakh, then income is 5%. Tax is 5%. On 2 lakh difference, on 2,50,000 and 5 lakh difference between 2,50,000 and 5 lakh will be taxed at 5%. This is slab. If your income is exceeding 5 lakh but 10 lakh, you will have to pay tax at the rate 20% on such difference. Difference, I repeat, difference above 10 lakh, above 10 lakh, above 10 lakh, %30 ऑफ कर दे. above 10 lakh 30%. मुझे देते हो. above 10 lakh 30%. So I take an example to teach you what is the benefit of HUF. Suppose I run two business, business A and business B, and both in my name, Sanjeev Varshney. Sanjeev Varshney. Suppose business A earn 10 lakh and business B also earn 10 lakh. So in income tax, tax is paid by the person who earns the income. Because I have earned this income, so I will have to pay tax on total income, not individual income. I have to pay tax on my total income, and my total income is rupees 20 lakhs, 10 lakh and 10 lakh. Now tax. Up to we have to tax on 20 lakhs. So please see the screen. 250 to 5 lakh. Up to 250, tax is 0. 250 to 5 lakh, difference is 2,50,000. Yani 2.5 lakh. 250 per 5%. 5% on 2,50,000. Then it will be 12,500. Now tax is levied up to 5 lakh. 5 lakh and 10 lakh, difference is 5 lakh. 5 lakh to 10 lakh, difference is 5 lakh. So 20% on 5 lakh is 1 lakh. Now we have calculate tax up to rupees 10 lakh. Now we have to tax 20 lakhs, but we have taxed 10 lakh. So remaining income is 10 lakh. Above 10 lakhs, whatever is the income, total income after 10 lakhs will be taxed at 30%. So after 10 lakhs is remain. So 30% of 10 lakh is 3 lakh. So total tax is 4,12,500. If I run my business, both business in my name, Sanjeev Varshney, business A, business B, both are earning same income 10 lakh, 10 lakh. So total income is 20 lakh. On 20 lakhs, I have calculate tax according to bracket slab. This is 4,12,500. Okay. Now please. As I form my HUF, I have decided to run my business in two names. This is in Sanjeev Varshney name and this business in Sanjeev Varshney HUF. So there are two assessee, one in individual, other one is HUF. Since there are two different assessee, so income will be treated as separate. This is of Sanjeev Varshney income and this is of Sanjeev Varshney HUF. Means both will be taxed separately. Both will pay tax separately. Now check. Up to 10 lakh tax was this 1,12,500. It means as an individual, I will pay tax on rupees 10 lakh, 1,12,500 on rupees 10 lakh. and 10 lakh is also the income of HUF, and tax rates are same on individual and HUF. There is no difference between individual and HUF for tax rates. So tax rates are same. So again the income of HUF is rupees 10 lakh. So the tax will be again 1,12,500 on rupees 10 lakh. Sanjeev Vasne will pay tax as an individual on this 10 lakh. Sanjeev Vasne HUF will pay tax on rupees 10 lakh. This 1,12,500. So in totality, both tax are from my family, one from me, one from my family. So tax will be 2,25,000. Now the remaining tax is, calculate the tax, 4,12,500. 225 minus 1,87,500. Please, I want your attention here. Please see, if I run the business, both business in my name, I am paying tax 4,12,500. But as I do the business, one in my personal name as an individual, other one in my HUF name as an HUF, means two other assessees, two are different assessees. So tax will be this one. Total is this. So I have tax saved. Tax saving 1,87,500. It means the benefit of HUF is this. If you run the business in a single name, your tax will be 4,12,500. As you run your business in different name, like one in individual, other one in HUF, so you are paying only 2,25,000. So you are saving 1,87,500, and you can do this. Nobody can stop you. As per Income Tax Act, you can do this. This is tax saving. आप ऐसा कर सकते हैं, कोई आपको नहीं रोक सकता. Is that clear? So HUF is also clear, I think. Now, company. What do you mean by company? I am teaching you the definition of persons. Means the person who are paying tax, whether you are individual, whether you are HUF, whether you are company. Company means which company, sir, which company will have to pay tax, which company need to pay tax. So I repeat, I clearly stipulate the things are very clear. Any company, whether it is private company, public company, joint stock company, domestic company, government company, foreign company, any kind of company, if they are earning income, they will have to pay tax. बड़ी सीधी सी बात है भैया, किसी भी प्रकार की कंपनी हो, सबको टैक्स पे करना पड़ेगा. If you are a company, any kind of company, you are earning income, you will have to pay tax. Firm. What is firm? Firm means a partnership firm. A partnership firm. If we are 2, 3, 4, 5 friends wants to do business, wants to do business together. हम 5-7 दोस्तों ने मिलके we have decided 5 to 6 friends, we should start a business in a partnership firm. We can do this, and we earn the income. We will have to pay tax as a partnership firm. Generally, it is written Messrs X and Company, Messrs XYZ and Company. So whatever they earn, they have to pay tax, right? Partnership firm, a group of 4, 5, 6, maximum 20% at Indian Partnership Act. You can form a firm and you can start your business or profession. And if you earn the income, you will have to pay tax. Now, AOP BOI. What is this? Please देखें. AOP BOI. Full form of AOP and BOI. BOI means body of individual. AOP means association of persons. A group of individuals do any business without partnership deed. please listen carefully. A group of individuals, only individuals, doing any business or profession without partnership deed is known as body of individual. If a group of individual doing any business or profession after making partnership deed, then it will be called partnership firm. If they don't have partnership deed, it will be called body of individual. This is the difference only. Now, what is association of person? Person means, I have written here, individual, HUF, company, AOP. These all are called persons. Now listen again carefully. A group of persons doing any business without partnership deed is called association of person. After partnership deed, it will be called firm. Now I repeat, group of individual after making partnership deed, firm. Group of individual without partnership deed, body of individual. Association of person, group of persons with partnership deed, firm. Without partnership deed, AOP. Now a question is 100% in your mind. I can understand, sir, difference between both of them, body of individual and association of person. First, I tell you the similarity between both of them. No partnership deed in both of them. This is the similarity. Now, what is difference? I am writing here. Please. Only group of individuals is called body of individuals, and here group of persons called AOP. Group of persons called AOP. Means here individual, HUF, company, firm, etc. They can form a business without partnership deed, so called group of persons. So it is called association of person. Only individual group is called body of individual. So difference is only this कि एक में केवल इंडिविजुअल्स का ही ग्रुप होगा, एक में इंडिविजुअल, HUF, कंपनी एटसेट्रा इनका ग्रुप होगा. So you clearly understand difference between AOP and BOI. If you have any doubt, please ask. I will discuss with you. Please ask in comment box if you have any doubt. No, दोस्त आपने जो लिखा है there is new slabs of ये आपका नहीं लगेगा, आपका असेसमेंट ईयर 2020 एंड 21 लगेगा. तो न्यू आपने नहीं देखना है जो मैं पढ़ा रहा हूं. आई एम टीचिंग यू एज पर असेसमेंट ईयर 2020-21. सो यू कैन thank you. I am teaching you as per latest assessment year 2020-21 that will be applicable in your exams. New slab will be applicable in the next year exams, June or December. Right now I am teaching you as per your exams June जो कि postponed हो गए थे and December. So you have to follow only this what I am teaching you, right? चलिए बहुत बढ़िया. Okay, I am going further. Till this point you are all clear. You have written here. Now a local authority. Local authority will have to pay tax. Now the question is in your mind, sir, what is local authority? What is local authority? I am writing local authority क्या होती है? Like MCD. This is called local authority. This is called local authority. Local authority, right? So again, I am thinking, you are also thinking, sir, government, local authority is government body. I will say yes. Sir, income tax department is also government body. I will say yes. Sir, my question is, this is your from, this question is your from side, your side. Sir, if income tax department and local authority both are government body, then government local authority will pay income tax. So this is a question. क्या local authority income tax pay करेगी? While this is a government body, is it necessary or the local authority is paying income tax? So I tell you, local authority person की definition यानी कि इस list में है, in this list, and this list of the tax paying person. So it is very clear to the definition of section 231. Local authority is in the list of tax paying person. So this is very clear. Local authority will also pay tax. Sir, this is just like, suppose I am Finance Minister of India. Income tax department is under me doing the work. MCD is also doing work under me. Sir, either money in this pocket or in this pocket. Both cases, money is with me. So why local authority is paying tax? No, this is not the reason. भैया एक बात बड़ी क्लियर है, मैं आपको साफ शब्दों में समझा देना चाहता हूं. To be very clear, as a finance minister, I will check the performance of my all departments where finance involved, whether they are doing good or bad. So for the performance evaluation, suppose as a finance minister, if I order to the income tax department, because it is my under, so I am boss, I order to income tax department, please don't collect any income tax from my other government department. If I pass this order to the income tax department, please don't collect any tax from my other departments. So as a boss, income tax department will follow my order, and due to this order, income tax department is unable to collect tax other government department. If I pass this order, what will be the impact? What will be the impact if I pass the order? Suppose I pass the order to the income tax department, don't collect any income tax from my other departments. So in the year end, I check performance of my all departments. अब all departments में इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट भी आ गया, एमसीडी भी आ गई, एमसीडी इधर आ गई, इनकम टैक्स इधर. अब इनकम टैक्स डोंट टेक एनी टैक्स फ्रॉम एमसीडी, डोंट टेक एनी टैक्स फ्रॉम एमसीडी. इन द ईयर एंड I will check the performance of income tax department and MCD. Suppose I check the performance of MCD. MCD didn't pay any tax to the income tax department. That's why it saved its money. Its money will show, its revenue collection will show high. Its performance is high. On the other hand, income tax department did not take any tax from MCD. So its performance will be down. Now I angry with income tax department and saying you are doing nothing. What are you doing? Your performance is very bad. This will not be good. अरे मैंने ही तो बोला था उसे मेरे किसी डिपार्टमेंट से टैक्स नहीं लेना तूने. I've told earlier to the income tax department, you don't charge any tax, and it does not charge any tax. That's why its income is below. So it will be showing less performance, less collection of tax. On the other hand, MCD saving the tax money. That's why its performance is high. So this is not a clear or good performance evaluation. So I clear you that finance minister is simply said, all department, you do whatever you charge from each other. If you are paying anything MCD, pay. MCD, you will have to pay tax. So each and other are paying to each other their money. If MCD doing any work in income tax department pay the payment for this work done by MCD, and MCD earning any income, MCD will have to pay tax to the income tax department. Now year end, as a finance minister, I am checking the performance of my income tax department and MCD. Now they have clear the payment of each other. Income tax paid to MCD whatever it has to pay, and MCD paid to the income tax department tax of its income, and still income tax department is not performing well. Now I am right to angry with income tax department. What are you doing? Where is your collection? Why is your collection is less? So in conclusion, I conclude right now the thing is, for performance evaluation, every income tax department, every department of government who is involved in finance earning revenue will have to pay tax to the income tax department. So local authority will also pay tax to the income tax department. Now you will be surprised कि मैं अभी किससे और tax pay करवा रहा हूँ. Next category will also pay tax, and you will be surprised to know, sir, it is happening. You will see, yes, it is happening. What is this? Now come point. नेट खिला गया क्या? देखिए सब चल रहा है, एवरीथिंग इज ओके. ठीक है, बस ये ध्यान रख, कोई नहीं. स्लाइड. Now every artificial judicial person not falls within above of the preceding subclauses. Please listen carefully. The person who are not covered above 6 persons. Now the 7 categories residuary. Sab kuch. Those who are not covered above will be covered here. Means each and everyone will have to pay tax if they are not covered above 6 persons. Now it will be covered in 7th category. So in 7th category, you can say universities, colleges, corporations. These are covered in 7th category. Even what are covered, I write, please see. 7th category. This is called residuary. Means rest all are covered here. Covered here. Like universities, colleges, etc. Universities income. Universities will have to pay tax under this category. Number 2, court. Court also pay tax? Yes. Yes. Court will also pay tax. On which income, sir? What is the income? Case fees. Court charge case fee on the cases. This is the income of court. Court will have to pay tax on such income. Fines. You know, whenever you jump the red light, traffic police caught you, cut a challan, give you and take the money. So traffic police take payment 2 types. One, without giving you challan, just take the money. That is called bribe. You can say personal benefit fund. He will charge it. He will take it in personal benefit fund. It will without giving any challan copy. If he is charging, this is bribe. So this is in black money, so it is not coming to in the picture. That's why it is not liable to tax. This is in personal end. But whenever a traffic police cut a challan and give you a receipt of payment, this payment is deposited to the court, and this is the income of court, and court will have to pay tax on such challan. So fines is also taxable in the hands of court. Now third point is the most important is God. If God earn any income, God will have to pay tax. Now the thing is, even God is paying tax, then to whom you will escape? So God is also paying tax. You know, in India, so many temples are earning very high money. Number one, you know, Tirupati Balaji. Last to last year, its donation was 2258 crore rupees. Number two, Siddhi Vinayak Bombay, 365 crore. Number three, Shirdi Sai Baba. Number four, Vaishno Devi. High earning temples, they are paying tax. Although some benefits are available like trust, so that is different. But as per right now, as of now, we have to understand God is also paying tax. You will be surprised again. I am discussing a case law of Supreme Court with you. एक सुप्रीम कोर्ट का केस सत्य घटनाओं पर आधारित ट्रू इवेंट्स बेस्ड ऑन ट्रू इवेंट्स. प्लीज लिसन केयरफुली. Near Delhi, a cycle company called Atlas in Sonipat, Haryana. Sonipat, Haryana. What they did? They made a temple in the factory where cycles manufacture. In the factory, they made a temple. And this is a statue of God. Now this expenditure, making temple or statue of God, called capital expenditure. Capital expenditure. This is true story. Please listen. Company, Atlas company's profit and loss account. They charge depreciation on temple as well as depreciation of idol of God, statue of God, you can say. Now this is your net profit. In simple words, company charge depreciation on God, means God is depreciated. Anyway, when this profit and loss account in the hands of assessing officer. Assessing officer means a person of income tax department who assess your income or check your income whether you have calculated your income correct or wrong. As he seen the depreciation on God, he was surprised and asked to Atlas, what are you doing? God is depreciated, and he is simply denying to depreciation on God. Therefore, net profit has increased and he has to pay tax on this increased net profit. असेसिंग ऑफिसर ने साफ शब्दों में बोल दिया कि डेप्रिसिएशन भगवान जी और मंदिर पर हम अलाउ नहीं करेंगे. इसकी वजह से क्या हुआ? नेट प्रॉफिट इंक्रीज हो गया. अब नेट प्रॉफिट इंक्रीज हो गया तो टैक्स भी उस पर ज्यादा लगेगा. सो कुल मिलाकर एटलस के साथ गलत हुआ. अब एटलस के साथ गलत हुआ तो एटलस कैन गो टू द अपील and till high court. High court. Everyone said AO is correct. AO is correct. Assessing officer is correct. You can't charge depreciation on Bhagwanji God. Okay. Now this case went into Supreme Court. Supreme Court. Supreme Court. And Supreme Court decided. Supreme Court asked till High Court, asked High Court whether this expenditure is capital or revenue. High Court said this is capital. And what we charge on capital expenditure? बोले डेप्रिसिएशन, देन व्हाई यू हैव डिनाइड? आपने डिनाई क्यों किया डेप्रिसिएशन के लिए? शुड बी अलाउड. सो सुप्रीम कोर्ट डिसाइडेड, okay, depreciation is allowed. So this depreciation was allowed in this case. So in nutshell we can say God is depreciated. भगवान भी depreciate होते हैं, right? So this is also clear. What is the definition of persons who are paying tax? So we have to do this according this, and all 7 categories are covered here. An individual, HUF, company, firm, AOPBY, local authority, every other artificial judicial person, they all will pay tax. 6 are clearly stated, individual, HUF, etc. 7th is mix of, or we can say rest of persons who are earning income and not covered above 6 persons. So that will be covered under 7%, right? So I think this is clear. If you have any doubt, please write down. दोस्त कैट एग्जाम कब होगा ये तो इंस्टीट्यूट बताएगा आपको. और कोई डाउट है प्लीज? है तो बताएं, नहीं तो मैं आगे चलता हूं. ओके, नो डाउट. So I think till this stage you are very clear. You have no doubt about anything. So I go further. Assessee means a person by whom tax or any sum of money is payable under Income Tax Act, include deemed assessee. प्लीज ध्यान से सुने, assessee का मतलब क्या है? Assessee means a person who is earning any income during the previous year. He will have to pay tax. He will have to pay tax. If I earn any income, I will have to pay tax. Very clear. So, sir, what does it mean? It includes deemed assessee. Deemed assessee का मतलब क्या है? So, deemed assessee means, please listen carefully. Deemed assessee means we can say clubbing of income. Suppose I divert my any income to my spouse to avoid income tax, then government or income tax department made provisions in this regard. Section 62, section 65. We will discuss later on, since this is the basic concepts class. So I'm just telling you what is clubbing. So if I shift my income like what is clubbing of income, मैं ये बता रहा हूं. Clubbing of income. Suppose my total income is 10 lakh. 10 lakh. I have decided to shift this income like this. In my hands means self, I keep income 2.5 lakhs. Shift my income to my wife's hand 2.5 lakh. Shift my income to my son 2.5 lakh. Shift my income in my son 2 hands 2.5 lakh. I split my income in 4 hands. In the previous sheet, I have calculated tax on 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs. So till 10 lakhs, tax is 1,12,500. We are leaving here education, health and education cess. It will be later on we will discuss. Right now I am calculating only simple tax, and tax is 1,12,500. If I pay honestly, so tax will be on rupees 10 lakh will be 1,12,500 if I pay tax honestly. This is my tax liability if I earn income 10 lakh. Okay. But I have decided to shift my income to avoidance of tax. टैक्स बचाने के लिए मैंने शिफ्ट की, as you know, till 2,50,000 there is no tax. See here, there is no tax till 2,50,000. So in the present case, in my hands tax is nil, wife hand tax is nil, son one hand tax is nil, son two hand tax is nil. It means in totality tax is now 0. If I shift my income or diverted my income, the tax will be nil, 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 nil. In totality 0. If I pay tax honestly, my tax is 1,12,500. So as the income tax department came to know about this shifting or diversion of income by you, they will simply do one thing. They will pick this income and add in your income. They will pick this income, add in your income. They will pick this income, add your income. Means income tax department will add all these three income in your hands. Now this income in your hand, total income is 10 lakh. So you will have to pay tax is 1,12,500. So if you are shifting or diverting any income, you will have to pay tax. This tax will be 1,12,000, and the adding of this income by income tax department is known clubbing of income. Clubbing of income. So for this income, I will be treated as deemed assessee. ऐसे तो मैं original assessee था, but it will be treated as deemed assessee, or my minus income will also be clubbed in my hands or in my wife's hand, whose the other income is greater. मतलब मेरे और मेरी पत्नी के बीच में जिसकी भी इनकम ज्यादा होगी, मेरे माइनर चाइल्ड की इनकम उसमें क्लब होगी. सो दीज प्रोविजंस आर कवर्ड अंडर सेक्शन 60 to 65 of Income Tax Act. We will later on discuss in the next class. Next to so many classes, after some time we will be able to understand income tax. Then we will start this. Okay. So assessee means who is earning the income, or assessee means on behalf he is paying tax, deemed assessee. Now I would like to discuss one more thing also. Income tax department, or we can say our lawmakers who have made Income Tax Act, divided our income in 5 heads, 5 chapters. If you earn the income, a specific category for that income is made by the department, and this chapter known is called known, or as we can say they are salaries. Like first head of income from salaries. What is this? It is very clear. When we join any job or service as an employee and we are receiving any payment from the employer, whether it is basic salary, allowances, perquisites, whatsoever, in detail, this chapter is very big. So we will discuss in detail in that chapter. But we can say right now here, whatever we receive from our employer or due to him, received from employer or due to employer, this income is taxed in my hands since I am employee under the head salaries, right? So first head is clear. This is for employees income. Now second head of income, we can say also these heads chapter. First chapter salary called heads of income, first head. Now second head of income is income from house property. Sir, what is income from house property? In like an introduction, I will tell you right now. Suppose I purchase a property of 2 or 3 rooms, for example 50 lakhs in Delhi. मैंने दिल्ली में 50 लाख रुपए की प्रॉपर्टी खरीदी and I gave it on rent to XYZ. Now this rent is received by me. So this rental income is now taxable in my hands under the head income from house property. So we can say rent receiver, or we can say landlord who received the rent, since this is the income. So whatever you earn, you will have to pay tax. So you are earning the rent. So on rent, on such rent which you are receiving, you will have to pay tax according to the provisions of income from house property. We can say second chapter or second head of income. So it will also be detailed discussed in the class when will we start house property. Now third head of income. Suppose I do any business or any profession. I do any business or profession. I do any business or profession. If I do any business or I do any profession, my income will be taxed under this head, under this chapter. And this is only the chapter. This is very difficult to understand. Students, as per students' opinion, it is tough, but I think it is not tough. We will do it. And one more thing you will do, very glad to know, although these chapters are in your syllabus, but very less sections are in your syllabus. So it is very easy. And you know your paper is MCQ based. So MCQ based, just you just listen my class with your full attention, with your full heart, with your full mind. You will feel to solve MCQ that you know each and everything about income tax. So I will cover all the things which is covered in your syllabus, and you will be feel easy to solve your MCQs, right? So I do any business or profession. Business में net profit पर, and in profession net gain, I will have to pay tax. So for business income or professional income, for me or for every assessee in India, for every person of India, will pay tax under the provisions of income tax chapter PGBP or head PGBP. We will pay tax business income or professional income according to the provisions of chapter profits or gains of business or profession. It is called in short form PGBP. PGBP. Now next fourth head of income. And sir, what is this? This is nothing. Listen please. Sometime back, few minutes back, I told you I have purchased a house or purchased a flat in Delhi for 50 lakhs and gave it on rent. So whatever I earn the rent, I will pay tax on rental income under the income from house property chapter or head. But if, please listen carefully, but if I sold this flat or house for rupees 80 lakhs, means I have purchased, listen and see, I have purchased this some years back for rupees 50 lakhs, now sold this year for rupees 80 lakhs. So I earn 30 lakhs, and this 30 lakhs is called capital gains. So on this 30 lakhs, what I earn on selling of flat or house, I have earned 30 lakhs. I repeat, I have purchased a flat some years back for rupees 50 lakhs, give it on rent. So rental income will be taxed on such years, on the respective years under the head house property. But if I sold it, if I sell it, I sold it. So whatever I earn, I have earned 30 lakhs. So I will pay on 30 lakhs tax under the head PGBP according to the, under the head PGBP, under the head capital gains, according to the provisions of capital gain. So this 30 lakhs will be taxed under the head capital gains according to provisions of capital gain. And capital gains are two types. long-term capital gains and short-term capital gains. So we can say ये भी हम we will discuss this long term and short term when we will start capital gain. Today is just introduction. So you right now I am telling you whatever we are earning, we have earned on sale of flat, sale of house. We can say this flat or house is a capital asset. So whatever we earn on a capital asset, the profit is known as capital gain. Now the last head is residuary head. Residuary matlab the incomes which are not taxed earlier four heads: salaries, house property, PGBP, capital gains. If I earn any kind of income which is not covered under above four heads, it doesn't mean this is not liable to tax. No, we can't say this is not liable to tax. This is liable to tax under the head IOS until unless it is not exempt under the provisions of Income Tax Act. जब तक ये इनकम जो हमने ऐसी अर्न की है एग्जेम्प्ट नहीं है किसी हेड में, तो वो यहां पर आके टैक्स हो जाएगी. आई रिपीट, वॉट एवर वी अर्न लाइक इंटरेस्ट, डिविडेंड, लॉटरीज, रेसेस like horse races, etc. We earn the income. Since these incomes are not covered under the earlier heads of income, salaries, house property, PGBP, and IOS, so these income will be covered under the last head of income, that is income from other sources. So we can say the heart of IOS is very big. It includes all the income which is not included by the other heads of income. So this is just like dustbin. खाया पिया डस्टबिन में फेंक दिया बचा कुचा. So whatever is residuary, whatever is rest बचा कुचा will be covered under the head IOS. And we can say in last about the heads, income from salary is the specific head, house property is the specific head, PGBP is the specific head, capital gain is the specific head. Means all four heads are specific. Specific incomes are covered only here under these respective head. But the last head is a general head, and general head is IOS. So this is not any specific. So we can say those income which are not covered above as well as not exempt, they will be covered under the head IOS, income from other sources. Clear? So keep in mind all the things. We have to cover these five heads of income, and you know, in your exams no big questions will be coming in the exam. MCQs are there, so we have to mastery on the MCQs. So we will gradually, after completing the chapters, discuss some MCQs so that you will be understood the concept. And one thing keep in always mind, please always do the class. All Hindi medium English and English medium student, both, please do always the class. Never leave the class, never drop the class. And I am taking the simplified burst in my English. तो जो हिंदी मीडियम स्टूडेंट है उन्हें भी इंग्लिश में आराम से समझ आएगा. कंटिन्यू करें, और जो भी कमेंट बॉक्सेस में आप मुझसे पूछ सकते हैं. अब मैं आपको एक दो बातें और बता रहा हूं बस, उसके बाद आज की क्लास में बाइंड अप कर दूंगा. बेसिक इतना ही है, नेक्स्ट क्लास में हम लोग स्पेसिफिक चीज शुरू कर देंगे. सो like accounts, you have read in accounts golden rules. In accounts you have read many times what comes debit, what goes credit, debit the receiver, credit the giver. इस तरीके से आपने पढ़ा है. On these basis, on the basis of golden rules, I have made my own rules. These are not available anywhere, any book. Not available. So please see or have your attention, please. Anywhere, any book, not available. These are my own rules, and rules are: every income shall be taxed once. हर इनकम पर एक बार टैक्स जरूर लगेगा. It is very clear. If you earn the income, you will have to pay tax. If government is not levying the tax on any income, we need to think in depth. So we will find the reason why income is not taxable. If government exempt any income, there may be a reason. Otherwise, every income will be taxed once. हर इनकम पर एक बार टैक्स जरूर लगेगा. और अगर टैक्स नहीं लग रहा है तो वी विल थिंक डीप. और जब सोचना शुरू करेंगे हम बिल्कुल ऑन द बेस ऑफ द एग्जेम्पशन पहुंच जाएंगे. तो वी विल फाइंड द रीजन व्हाई इट इज एग्जेम्प्ट. ओके, नाउ नंबर 2 रूल. सेम इनकम cannot be taxed twice. Means is very clear. No double taxation except few. Like dividend from Indian company, except few. So no double taxation. It means if I earn any income in the previous year, I will pay tax. If I earn further income previous year, I will pay tax again. But there is no double taxation. Suppose I earn a fees. Suppose I earn a fees from a student. He made me, for example, 20,000 fees, and I will pay on this 20,000 tax once. Because I received from a particular student once during the previous year 20,000. So I will pay 20,000. But if I again receive 20,000 from anywhere, I will again pay tax on 20,000. So whenever I will earn the income, I will pay tax. But ऐसा नहीं है. I have earned the income, I have received the fees, a student Mr. X, rupees 20,000. I have paid tax on such income. Again, I am again paying tax 20,000 on such income. No double taxation is there. Is no double taxation. Whenever I earn the income, I will pay tax always. But there is no double taxation on same income. But some exceptions will be discussed, like income from dividend from Indian company. So we will discuss here. And now I discuss here how it is taxed double. Suppose this is the profit and loss account of Reliance Industry, and this is the profit before income tax. Yani this is the profit and loss account of Reliance Industry, and this is profit before income tax of Reliance Industry. Now Reliance will pay its own income tax. Own income tax. जो उसने income earn की उस पर income tax pay किया. So this profit will become profit after income tax. Company has paid own income tax on this profit. Now this profit is after income tax. Whenever company will pay dividend, mind it, this is Indian company. Reliance is an Indian company. It must be an Indian company. Whenever Indian company pay dividend, it has to pay a corporate dividend tax, right? So this is the tax paid by company on behalf of shareholder. So this tax is paid by company on its own behalf, अपनी income पर, and this tax is paid by company on behalf of shareholder. That's why shareholder के hand में dividend from Indian company is exempt. Indian company is exempt. That's why dividend from Indian company in the hands of shareholder is exempt, right? So here we can say first tax, and on the same income after tax again tax. So this is the exception for income from double taxation. Otherwise one time tax only. There is no double tax in whole income tax act except this exception. Now third rule is, write down third rule. Third rule is any expenditure incurred to generate any income shall be allowed oblique deductible. And what is this? What is this? I give you an example. You have seen there are so many restaurants of McDonald's in all over the world. Now McDonald's want to sell by himself only. Then in a day only 1 or 2 restaurant will open, rest of the restaurant will be closed, because McDonald's जिसने फॉर्म किया he want to sell himself. But ऐसे तो चलेगा नहीं. So McDonald's has decided to give or to appoint the employee for sale. So if McDonald's appoint the employees to sell on all over world of its product like burger, pizza, etc., they will have to appoint employee, and to the employee salary will be paid. Suppose salary is 100 and these employees sell 1000. Now net profit is 900. The question is, to earn any income, if there is any expenditure incurred, that will be deductible first, and we will pay tax on the rest income. So due to these employees, this sale was possible. So before taxing, we will take 1000, deduct 900. So we will pay tax on this income. So rupees 900 is taxable, or is per tax, we will pay tax on this 900. This is very clear. If you want to earn any income and incurred any expenditure, so such expenditure will be deductible from that income, from such income which you have earned. The rest income after deducting the expenditure, whatever income in your hands, you will have to pay tax on such income. So I think this is very clear. Till here, everything is clear. If you have any doubt, so please come in the box. And one thing I want to say, from the next class, it will be on Wednesday, 1:30. So please keep copy, pen, calculator with you, so that whatever I written here, it should be in your copy, and it will be helpful to you when you will revise to the near exam time. You will be feel, yes, you have so many material to read. So please keep copy, pen, and calculator, all these 3 things with you, so that you can come with me, you can do everything with me, so we can complete every chapter with I will try to cover almost all the syllabus which is given. We will complete it, we will solve MCQ, but you have to do one thing: copy, pen, calculator with you in the next class, and no class should be left by you. You have to be in every class. Okay, so today I stop my class. If you feel good, please write down in comment box, so that it will be helpful to me. एक डाउट है कि सर 10 लाख रुपए की आपकी इनकम थी, आपने डाउट की। दोस्त ये बेसिकली इट विल बी कवर्ड अंडर क्लबिंग ऑफ इनकम. इट इज जस्ट गिविंग बाय मी इन कैश or whatsoever is the mode. So it is added back by the income tax department. I will add it, department will add it, or I will pay on such income. And whatever is doubt, we will discuss in clubbing of income, because I will start from the very basic in clubbing. So जो भी doubts होंगे, we will see here, just introduction, nothing else. Any doubt, please? मैंने कई सारी अंगूठियां पहनी हुई हैं, इनका क्या रीजन है? कुछ नहीं, जस्ट वाइफ ने पहना दी तो पहन ली दोस्त, और कोई रीजन नहीं था. I think everything is clear, no doubt. Very good. Students are writing here, so please you write here. Everything is clear. So I stop this class now. Thank you, sir. It was Nice class. Thank you very much, all of you. Because of you, it was possible. And thank you to Pradeep Khaneja sir, who is continuously watching. And sir, हमसे कोई गलती हुई हो तो जरूर बताइएगा प्लीज.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your presence, sir.
थैंक यू सर. प्रेजेंटेशन एकदम सही रहा है, मुझे लगता है सब कुछ क्लियर है. और मिक्स चलाए, इंग्लिश चलिए, कोई
It
दिक्कत
was
नहीं
very good, sir.
है सर.
It was very good.
थैंक यू सो
It was
मच
very
सर.
good,
थैंक यू सर. थैंक यू सर. थैंक यू सर. थैंक यू सर. ओके सर, स्टॉप हियर. ओके सर. सर आवाज नहीं आ